Here we go. What's going on, folks? Welcome. Let's make sure you guys can hear me before we even get into it. Confirm that you guys can hear me. Give me the thumbs up. Let me know that you can hear me. I see some of you guys are saying no sound. Yeah, previously it wasn't any sound. Confirm that you guys can hear me. And once I see that in the comments, we'll get right to it. But welcome to the first Terrible Towel post-game show of the season. As things worked out, I was able to watch the game live, and now here we are. So confirm, guys. Y'all can hear me. Okay, great. All right, let's get to it, man. Listen, this is going to be quick. This is preseason. I'm not spending my entire Saturday night doing this. Literally going to be in and out, like for real. No more than 30 minutes. It is right now. It's 10:07. At 10:37, when I look over here and it's 10:37, I will be what they call wrapping it up. Let's get right to it. First and foremost, want to say hello and welcome to everyone. For anyone who might be new to the channel, I am SimFBallCritic. That is the name that I go by. I'm mostly known, still otherwise, for Terrible Towel Tuesday, which is the podcast I do each and every Tuesday where we talk about the Steelers, upcoming opponents, reflecting from the previous week's game. Here, now that the season is underway, so to speak, I also do a post-game show. And when the season starts, I will be doing a pre-game show. All right, so that's pretty much what you're seeing here for you guys who might be new to this. This is a post-game show. Expect this to happen throughout the season unless for whatever reason, any unforeseen reason that I can't do the show. But more than likely, this is what you're going to get. So basically with the post-game show, I just give my knee-jerk reactions. And let's say hello and welcome to some of the early commenters, and then we'll get right to it. Joshua Shields, Ron Simpson Gaming, Dust Thunder, The Real Missy. Hello, Miss Lady. Appreciate you tuning in tonight. Lanisha. Hello, Miss Lady. And thank you as well for tuning in tonight. We always treat our ladies very special and very well over here. Vista Light, Few Late Nights, The Real Deal. Who else is up in here, man? Really quick. Charlie Brown, father-in-law Leonard is in here. Rocka White is in here. Jack Bauer, Louise D, Cody Yo. Or Cody. I don't know why I keep saying Cody Yo. Ethan Leach. It's a new name. I don't think I've seen that one. Shango. That's relatively new as well. Ghost Marley. And Jared Devil, and we'll end it right there. Let's jump right into what I notated, guys. So y'all know how I normally do on the post-game show. I usually document the first series offensively and defensively. Then I talk about, key moments in the game. And I usually talk about, specific drives. So when the season starts, you'll hear me talk about this drive, second possession, third possession, fourth possession, and I do it in that order. But tonight is very loosely based. Before we get started, let's say what's up, hello, and shout outs, and thank you to Jameer Sanders for the donation. Round of applause. He says, told you about Mitch things Ben couldn't do no more. Yeah, I think it's evident, and most of us would have understood that. And if you didn't, if you were still holding on to Ben Roethlisberger, listen, it is what it is. I don't know if I could ever convince you differently, but clearly all of the quarterbacks tonight showed some mobility. Even the reindeer. Even the reindeer showed a little bit of mobility tonight. So just things that Ben Roethlisberger was unable to do at his stage of, at this stage of his career. So let's get right into it, man. What I basically wrote down here. Let's talk about injuries really quick to keep an eye on. I didn't catch them all, but Carl Joseph, I noticed that he left on a cart. That was early in the game. I don't know when it happened. I don't know if it was, in session or if it was like special teams. But I saw that he was on the sideline on the cart. So hopefully, he's okay. Let's see how that goes. We also saw Witherspoon go out with an apparent shoulder injury. Doesn't seem to be anything major. Could be a stinger. Could just be a pinch. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't really determine what it was, but we have to acknowledge it. So we'll all keep our eyes on that. And then also, Damani Casey left the game late in the second quarter So let's keep an eye on what's going on with him as well. Could just be bumps and bruises like Tomlin likes to talk about. But again, it's something to keep an eye on. And KZ, man, was all over the field. I don't want to forget to mention that KZ was definitely showing himself out there, man. Had, a lot of, I want to say about 5 or 6 tackles, man, early in the first half there. So you can definitely see where he's going to possibly fit and what we're looking to do in terms of getting on the field and, having somewhat of a spot. So we shall see. But yeah, unfortunate that he went out. Probably wouldn't have played that long, maybe a little bit longer because he's newer to the Steelers. But needless to say, man, he went out late in the second quarter. Penalties, I didn't document them all, but I did want to just point out some of the ones I saw early. Opening kickoff, Cody White is called for an illegal block. Connor Haywood also had a false start. And for the most part, the game was played relatively clean. I will say, though, the refs was missing some calls out there, both for us and probably against us as well, because I don't remember what number it was. Was it 64? But there was a lineman for us that was holding quite often. I mean, he was doing the bear hug, the wrestle, grappling quite often, and they weren't calling that. So, maybe the referees are also right now in preseason, but whatever. First offensive drive, let's talk about that really quick. Anthony McFarland fields the first kickoff, so that's something to keep an eye on. I don't know if that's intentional or if Calvin Austin is going to be a guy that's doing that, but clearly McFarland was first team kick returner. Mitch Trubisky goes to Pickens on the first down, and he gains a pickup of 9. Mitch also faced pressure on that 3rd and 1, that very first 3rd and 1, unable to complete the Raider. But Anthony McFarland is able to pick up another 3rd and 1 as well later on in that drive. What did I say here? With a nice run, he picked up the 3rd and 1. I might have my down and distance off here. Pressure might have been on 2nd and 1 because I have 3rd and 1 twice. So one of these is wrong. So let's just assume I meant 2nd and 1 where he had pressure, unable to complete the radar. And then I say McFarland picks up a 3rd and 1. It was a nice run. Good blocking by Pickens on that play. If you guys remember, George Pickens had a great block on that play. Also, Mitch was able to find Gunnar O to convert a 3rd and 6. That was kind of the one when he caught him over the middle. And Gunnar O spun around and had a fairly decent yak after that. So he's definitely looking a little bit more than just a return guy. And then the Steelers were able to score pretty much on the next play. Mitch was able to find Gunnar O wide open in the end zone, uses his legs to extend the play, and also Chooks. If y'all go back and watch the game, did you see the block? Chooks kind of caught a guy in the air and boom, knocked him off his feet, basically pinned him down to the ground, so that was cool to see. But then also I noticed, man, real good blocking on that play. In the offensive line, it looked a little up and down to me. And again, this is a very small sample size that we're talking about the would-be starters. But they did look a little up and down, because like I said, there was a couple plays on that series where Trubisky had some pressure against him. But then on that play, on the scoring touchdown, very well blocked. And Trubisky was able to extend the play with his legs, and he finds Gunnar O. But another thing to take note of, man, George Pickens drew a whole lot of attention on that play. He drew 2 defenders on that play and allowed Gunnar O to be wide open in the back of the end zone. But to me, the good of that play was the initial blocking, extension of the play by Trubisky, using his legs, keeping his eyes downfield, and finding Gunnar O for the touchdown. Cannot be mad at that. And I also like the way that they aligned the receivers there. So, looking at some of the formations that Canada's throwing out there. First defensive series. Steelers gave up 7 yards on the first run. Didn't like that. There was a nice tackle for loss by Witherspoon, and then the Steelers were able to get off the field on the following 3rd down. Combination of good coverage and pressure. It was a sack by Mondo, because clearly you could see that Geno Smith had nowhere to go. So the back end must have been doing their job, and the guys up front with Delonte Scott and Mondo and others, I think Wormley was out there at that time, just being busy with their pressure to get Geno off of his spot. Got him moving. Mondo using the high motor that he has, gets the sack. So I basically notated here, good sack, coverage and pressure was a result of a sack for Mondo. Now I'm just going to do a couple key moments, man, really high level stuff. And then after that, I'm going to go in the chat and see what you guys have to say. Definitely want to talk about on the second drive. Very nice punt return by Steven Sims. Mitch Trubisky was able to find Connor Hayward on the first play off of play action. And Anthony McFarland, again, running hard on that drive. Anthony McFarland had some really decent runs, man. And I want to say, I know he was 7 carries for 50-something yards. I don't know if it was 56 or something like that, but showed himself pretty well. I did not like James Daniels. I notated this. There was a play on that drive where James Daniels allowed the guy to just go right past him. Like he just lost, the commentators were saying that he kind of lost, his angle towards him. But come on, man, you can't be doing that. Again, James Daniels is a guy I'm going to be keeping my eyes on because, listening to reports in training camp, listening to guys like, Alex Kazor, he has been saying, the overreaction, segment that they have on their training day practice podcast. They're basically saying that, there's some opportunities that they see, to kind of criticize him where he hasn't played that great. And then you see that happen in the game tonight. So again, I'm not out on James Daniels. I think he's going to be serviceable for us. He might even be a good right guard. But it's something worth noting, right? So when I go back and watch the game again, because again, this is knee-jerk reactions. When I go back and watch the game again, I'm going to do specific watching of the offensive line and of certain players and things like that. So by the time Tuesday comes around, I'll really be able to give you an account of what I saw. Let's see what else I have here. Mitch able to scramble, broke a tackle as well to avoid a big loss. But we couldn't really do much on that particular play. But, Mitch Trubisky servicing himself well. Miles Jack on the following defensive series had 2 back-to-back plays, man. One of which was on the third run. We stuffed the run on third down, was able to get the ball back. But Miles Jack is definitely flashing already in terms of just the simple things. Being in position, attacking the lane, going after the ball carrier. Go get the ball. That's literally what I was texting to Tony and Kenyon in the game. It's like, yes, go get the ball. He did that. So, remains to be seen how the defense actually looks. I'm going to talk about that here in a second. Let me keep it moving. Anything else? Mason Rudolph, man, finds George Pickens on a 26-yard touchdown. Let me tell you something. George Pickens is for real, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But got to give credit to Mason Rudolph on that particular throw. That was an outstanding throw. Outstanding throw. I don't care whether you hate or love Mason Rudolph. The throw in that particular situation was outstanding. Put it in the perfect spot. And then George Pickens just finishing it with his feet. The Tony toe tap, if you will. Toe drag, swag, whatever you want to call it. And the subtle push off, I noticed that he got a little bit of that. And yeah, made the play. All right. Let's see. What else do I have here, man? Trey Norwood has some nice coverage moments. I'm just trying to see if there's anything big here. Excuse me, before I just get into my main recap here. Kenny Pickett. We're going to talk about Kenny Pickett, but nothing else really jumps off the table, guys. I just want to talk really quick about individual things, my key moments, key takeaways, and then I will get into the chat. Let's talk about one of the most obvious things that I noticed. The defense, they had a moment where it looks like they couldn't stop the run, and that was as early as the second quarter and as late as the fourth quarter, right? Now, I need to see the first team out there for multiple snaps before I can make an assessment, right? Because you got to understand, the full complement of starters were not out there. I mean, not even TJ, not even Highsmith, not even Minka. You know what I mean? So it's hard to judge the run game tonight as, same old run defense. No, you can't say that. No Cam Hayward. No Alu. No Larry O. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So let's pump the brakes a little bit on feeling bad about the run D when you consider all of the people who were not playing. So like I said, I am looking at it like this with big eyes, like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Because some of these guys you saw tonight are going to have to contribute. So it is important to acknowledge that the run game was a little spotty, right? It's important to acknowledge it. However, you know what I'm saying? We can't really judge it without the guys. You know what I'm saying? And none of the meat of the D-line didn't play, so it's tough. And even when they started to run on us more, Miles Jack wasn't in the game because I notated that. I noticed, and again, this is not an indictment on Spillane, but I noticed as soon as they switched to Spillane and Bush, that's when Homer was able to start running the ball some. So I'm going to reserve judgment until I see sufficient snaps with the guys who would be starting. The full complement of starters, D-line, linebackers, back end. Then I would judge what the run game is. I saw a lot of overreaction tonight. Let's see. What else do I got? Hamilcar Rashid got him a sack tonight. Mark Robinson got, obviously with down the stretch, a nice blitz off the edge. And even though he was unguarded, you still got to get there. And I think Mark Robinson has the potential to be the Vince Williams for us, right? The thumper, because you can even tell, even when he was finishing off all of his tackles, you saw him, wham, he won't play in no games out there. However, quick assessment, just on tonight's game, Mark Robinson and Buddy Johnson look a little suspect in coverage. That might not be their strong suit. Again, I am not going to sit here and overreact tonight, guys. This is one game. It's a preseason game, right? Because I've already seen it. Like, I don't know how you guys can judge who a player is off of one game, and not even just a game, a little bitty piece, little bitty sample size. I don't know how y'all can make these determinations just like that. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just mentally notating these things. So if we see it continue, we can say, yeah, that was an issue preseason. Or if they get better, we can say, hey, looks like they improved that a bit, right? You make the mental notes, but you cannot make a full-blown determination right now. At least I can. It's just something to note. Let's see. What else I got before I get to Pickett? I'm going to end with Pickett. I think Trey Norwood played good, man. Trey Norwood, again, he's always around the ball in coverage when he gets his opportunities. He had a couple PBUs tonight, especially the one in the end zone to the big tight end, and he came in with the shoulder hit. Trey Norwood is nice, in my opinion. Is he great yet? I don't know. But I think this kid is going to continue to excel. We saw it last year, and I know a lot of people try to judge him based off of, the touchdown we gave up. What team was that? I can't remember who we were playing. Y'all know the game. Oh, the Chargers. Right? But that was a rookie mistake. But if you remember back last season, Trey Norwood had some moments. He had some tonight. I think he is ascending. So I'm definitely interested in seeing how his, ascension continues to go. But he had some moments tonight. It made me call his name a few times. So that's cool. Let's talk about another kid, man, that's going to be really hard to cut. Jaylen Warren is going to be hard to cut. It's going to be hard, folks. And I'm going to pull up the chat and see what you guys are saying as I talk about him. This kid, Warren, is going to be hard to get off this roster. He runs hard. Effort. Caught some passes tonight. Even on the touchdown throw from Pickett, he had the wherewithal to catch it, get hit, and then lean backwards as his body is on the defender to get the touchdown and stretch the ball out. And he runs with that determination. A lot of broken tackles on that kid tonight. He's going to be tough, man. He's going to be tough. And I know some people are trying to say, oh, well, what do you mean? Of course he's going to make it. Well, no, you got to remember, there's 4 running backs right now that are in the running. Obviously, Najee. Benny Snell is not getting cut unless he's injured. But Najee and Benny Snell are pretty much locks. So then the question is, are the Steelers going to keep 4 running backs or 3? If they decide that they're only going to keep 3, then can Warren beat out Anthony McFarland? Anthony McFarland had a good showing tonight as well. So that's why I sound surprised when I'm like, hey, I think Warren is going to make the roster. It's going to be hard to cut him because, again, there's talent in there. Some of these guys, I don't know if Warren stays on your practice squad. Maybe a guy like Durant, you might be able to keep on the practice squad, but I don't know about Warren. And you look at where Warren is currently as far as tonight, depth chart-wise. He played a lot, but he was behind McFarland. So the question is really just going to be, do they keep Ford? Because I don't think they cut McFarland either. I don't think that they're done with him. And again, if you're judging those guys off of performance, McFarland performed tonight too. Had a decent showing. So the question is really going to be, are they going to keep 4 running backs on the active roster? If they do, I think it's going to be really hard to cut Warren. And I see somebody here talking about Master Teague. It's going to be tough for Teague, man, just because of how late he came in the process. He ran really well tonight too. Hard, ran hard. That thumper and bruiser, north and south type dude. But again, you just got to understand how the pecking order goes, man. It's going to be hard for Teague to jump all of those guys. Round of applause to Snoopy McQueen. Appreciate the donation. He says number 30 is better than 24. That may be the case, guys. And again, don't go so much with how you feel. Think about it from the Steelers organization as far as the coaching staff and all of that. They're not going to get rid of Benny Snell. And, you're saying that Warren is better than him just because we've seen him make a few plays here and there. Again, guys, don't go jumping over the moon just because of this one preseason game that you saw. And you saw, literally 12 plays of Warren, maybe a little more than that, maybe a little less. I don't remember. I'm just saying, don't go overreacting so fast. I think he showed up well. We got to see him do it again. So he's going to have to earn his way on the roster. It's not me saying that. It's me evaluating how the Steelers have always done things and how they go through their depth chart, how they value certain players. They love Benny Snell. He's not going to get cut. So like I said, the question is going to be one or two. Are they going to keep 4 running backs, or is there only going to be a fight for the third spot where it's between Warren and McFarland? That is the only 2 questions I have. And y'all saying Teague, but I'm just saying, listen, it's going to be hard for him to jump frog these guys. That's all I'm saying. But I love the fact that the competition is there. And I see a lot of you guys making, pleading your case of who you want. I love that the competition is out there. I'm just trying to let you guys know it's going to be very hard, man, for a guy like Teague that came in so late to just jump over some of those guys and make the 53. But listen, y'all know me. I'm not married to any of these guys. I want the best group of guys, and I'm going to root for whoever makes the team. So that's how I am with this running back situation. May the best one make it. And I hope the Steelers make the best decision. One last guy we're going to talk about, 2 last guys. We're going to wrap the show up with George Pickens. Let's just get me a little sip of water before I go into George. George looking like a dog, man. Yeah, he's looking like a dog out there. Not only just the catch for the touchdown, but the catch he made on the sideline. Keeping his feet in bounds. I saw a couple moments where he did what he did in college, where he was able to push the opposing DB to the ground. I saw him do that tonight. He's a dog. What I want to see more of, and it wasn't his fault tonight, I just want to see him. I want to see how he's able to stack defenders. I want to see that. I want to see how he's able to stack these guys in one-on-one situations. They didn't give him a lot of balls to catch tonight. A lot of the ones, the deep ones down the sideline, they didn't give him an opportunity to go 50-50. I want to say it was, Mitch, I think, might have missed one, and maybe also Rudolph. They didn't give him a lot of catchable balls on down the sideline. Again, the one Rudolph threw for the touchdown was money. That was perfect. But a little bit of normal Rudolph showed up later on in the drive when he almost threw it, or later on in that game, when he almost threw that interception when he was trying to go to Connor Haywood. Come on, you can't be doing that. Can't be doing that. That was an interception. Dude just dropped it. Speaking of Connor Haywood, I think he did some decent things tonight. And what a throw, man, by Mitch Trubisky when he hit him, coming across the middle on the run. So yeah, George Pickens, there's not much more I need to say. That kid is going to be, I think he has the potential to be a real problem. And man, I am really looking forward to seeing our, 11 personnel sets that will include a George Pickens, Deontay Johnson, Claypool, and whoever else. Is Boykin going to make it? Boykin had a couple catches tonight, but just his size, man. I'm rooting for Miles Boykin because of his size. If he can continue to get things going with us, man, I just imagine the lineups that you could create, man. My goodness. I told y'all one of my visions for a 2x2 set. Oh, man. It could just get ridiculous in there. Ridiculous in there. You put Deontay on the outside, put Austin on the outside to pose the deep threat, put Boykins and Pickens in the inside, or Claypool and Pickens. Nasty. Nasty. But all right, man, let's talk about the man that y'all have came to talk about, the man in the screenshot. Kenny Pickett. Got to talk about Kenny Pickett a little bit, right? Now, funny thing is, guys, and excuse me for a second, I'm just checking something here on my telephone. The funny thing about Kenny Pickett, right? Here's the thing that's so hilarious. It goes all the way back to Thursday night, right? We saw Malik Willis do his thing. Yo, Malik did good. Malik had some bad moments too. His first drive was a little shaky. Made a questionable throw. Almost had a pick six happen. Settled down. Used his legs. Had a nice deep throw. Right? Used his legs again later in that drive to score. And everybody was going, the Steelers should have picked. Everybody was saying that. Just off of that little bit of footage. Right? And I'm not here to debate who they should or shouldn't have picked. Y'all know the way I felt if y'all remember watching the live draft show and how I felt when they didn't pick Willis and they picked Pickett and, instead of Willis. When they were all available, all of the top dudes was available pretty much. And I was like, wow. But listen, I kept telling the Steelers fans that I talked to, man, let's see what this kid's gonna do. Y'all already writing him off. Let's see what Kenny's gonna do. And let's keep in mind this is still preseason. Like, you cannot make no determinations. Because I saw some things in Malik Willis as well. Some of his warts showed in that game as well. With his footwork and some of those things. So it's like, don't go crowning him just like that because you saw him make a couple plays. I think Malik Willis has the ability, his upside and his ceiling is through the roof, in my opinion. But he's not on our team. I'm not going to keep sitting here and see, we should. Why do y'all do that? I don't understand that. There's nothing we can do about that now. All we could do is root for the guys who play quarterback for us. And speaking of quarterbacks, Kenny Pickett came in there tonight and did decent. Kept his throws pretty simple. I like that they went play action, bootleg action first. You guys are able to see where this offense is going, right? Just first 5 minutes of the offense, you saw an offense that we are running that we did not or could not run with Ben Roethlisberger. A lot of play action, a lot of boot action, getting guys out of the pocket, getting them on the move. Like it. They kept it very simple with Kenny Pickett tonight. He took a couple, not no real chances. He took one deep shot that he missed, and I think it could have been called pass interference on Blake. But kept it short. I like one of those out routes that he threw, and it was sharp. Had some nice velocity to it, nice accuracy, but they was keeping it simple. Mixing in the run, going play action, going shotgun. And that's all I need to see him do. But what I really liked about what I saw from Kenny Pickett? He gets sacked, right? Offensive line gets him in trouble. He tries to roll out, and I'm not sure I would have called that play on 4th and 1, but whatever. He rolls out and thinks he's going to be able to get to the edge or at least get the ball to somebody downfield, gets sacked. Very next play, defense gets the ball back for him, and he goes out there, leads the drive. Goes down, gets the touchdown. He looked like he had been there before. He didn't look rattled by the sack. Came out there and did his thing. So, listen, I said it from the beginning. If Kenny Pickett is able to develop the way that you would want him to develop, I think he's going to be a successful quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he has a chance. I don't know what his ceiling is, but I will end it with this and say, it's 10:37. So I'm about to wrap it up here in a moment. I will end it with this and say Kenny Pickett showed himself well tonight. Didn't do anything crazy. Didn't do anything to lose the game. Showed himself very well tonight. Enough to where now we can just go back to saying, let's watch all of those quarterbacks' careers. And instead of from Thursday up until tonight, see, we picked the wrong quarterback. Some of you fans are so impulsive. And by the way, Desmond Ridder had a pretty nice little outing as well. So, again, I think Kenny Pickett did a great job for what he was asked to do tonight. I can't wait to see more of him. But more importantly, Mitch Trubisky, man. Mitch Trubisky played relatively well tonight for the 2 drives that he was in. It was good to see him and Pickett getting out of the pocket, scrambling. Like Pickett had a couple scrambles. That's what we were missing. That's what we did not have at all with Ben Roethlisberger at this point. We didn't have that. Even Rudolph showed a little mobility. But again, clearly, you see the added dimension that has been added to our offense, whether it's Trubisky or Pickett. And I'm not trying to not include Rudolph, but I really don't think that he's going to come into the equation. I think the competition is between him and Pickett as far as who's going to be the number 2 this season. But clearly Rudolph he's not going to be the future. He's not. Pickett is the future. Trubisky is the guy who's the bridge, who's going to start more than likely this season. Whether he lasts, we'll see. But I'm more so concerned with how he's playing and how Pickett is progressing. And that's how I'm looking at this particular season. But again, overall, good night, man. Like I said, the takeaways that I have tonight, I'm going to keep my eye on that defense as far as the defense, the run stopping and all that. And again, I'm taking it with a grain of salt because the number 1 unit was not out there. None of the starting D linemen were out there. So, also, offensive line. I saw some good moments and I saw some somewhat shaky moments. So, I guess I could just say I'm going to be looking at the trenches, especially when I go back through the film and look at it again, slow it down and really look at, hone in on the trenches. I want to see who did what. I will say this, Kendrick Green looks like he played, a better brand of football at guard. And from what I remember, I don't think there was too much pressure straight up the middle. So I didn't really pay attention to Mason Cole, but it definitely didn't feel like pressure was coming right up the middle. So I think the center position at least is holding up better so far. But again, I'll be able to talk about all of that on Tuesday. So this was just a real quick knee-jerk reactions, and there you have it. But all right, guys, I'll give you guys about 5 minutes or so in the chat. Let's say we wrap it up here at about a quarter till. So it's 10:40 right now. Didn't want to keep this too long. So let's read a couple things. What y'all got here? Real Fact says, the disrespect of Big Ben from the fans. He was aged last year, obviously, but please stop trashing him. Yeah, I don't get that either. I mean, how do you trash a guy in his 17th, 18th? I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. Eric McDuffie says Pickett will not start week 1. He's the future. Absolutely, I agree with that. Round of applause to my man, Luis D. Appreciate the donation. He says, do you think Pickens could start alongside Deontay week 1? So you're talking about when we're just in the 2 receiver set, so more like 12 or something like that. Yes. Possibly. It's very possible. It's very possible. It all depends. I mean, I look at it like this. If they're going to work Claypool in the slot more, you might see Pickens and Deontay when we're not in the 11, when we're not in a 3 receiver set. It's possible. For experience-wise, though, you might see Claypool. You understand what I'm saying? But Pickett can block as well. Threw a nice block tonight. So, a lot of times you can run out of those formations as well. But I think it's possible. I just don't know if I can go as far as to say that's going to happen. But it is more than possible. So absolutely, I think that's possible. What y'all got here? Christian Witherspoon says, Matt Canada's offense looks better without Big Ben. Yeah, and I don't think we saw anything special tonight. I just think you saw more variation with, again, play action and boots and stuff that you didn't see really that much at all with Ben in recent years. So even that alone looked different tonight. The selection of plays looked very different. But again, I don't even think we haven't seen the full gamut of his offense yet. Jacob says, what does he learn on the bench? Who are you referring to, Jacob? You talking about Pickett? Let me know who you're talking about. The Master of Music. I like that name. He says, Sim, what do you think of the special teams? Got to go back and watch that. McFarland had a fairly decent return in the beginning, but it was, called back due to Kobe White. We did have a nice punt return by Steven Sims. But other than that, I don't know if it was anything special. But again, that's something I got to go back and watch the film, man. I mean, I watched it, but I wasn't really looking to see where the breakdowns were and things like that. But I think there were some decent moments, the punt return being the biggest moment. Robert Tumburo says, wise to withhold judgment, SimFBallCritic. If opponent D in 2 more games schemes against Steelers starters may show a little, you can judge versus drawing conclusions from a first preseason equals fool's game. Yeah, I'm with you. So the way I read that, yeah, I'm with you. It's very wise. Like, I'm not patting myself on the back, but yeah, it just don't, you know what I mean? You know what I mean. So I'm gonna give you a virtual fist bump. I don't get it. I don't, again, I have to understand that sometimes our fan base is broad. And again, some of our fan base is what I like to call highlight watchers. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't really, all they know is the highlights. They don't know the minutia. So all they judge on is based on what a guy does in that game. They don't really know the full gamut. But again, like you said, it would be wise for us to not go crazy and judge anything we saw tonight, especially defensively against the run. Oh, so Jacob, you're saying not to sit Pickett down at all, so you want him to play right away. Okay. Real Fact says the energy from the crowd when Pickett came in, that was legit. Yeah, I like that. I sure did. And hello, Mr. Covington. Hello, sir. Appreciate you coming by. He says, did you hear the crowd chanting Pickett's name? I sure did. I sure did. I'm telling y'all, this is an exciting time as a Steeler fan, man. We haven't gone through this in a long time. This is kind of cool. It's kind of cool me really evaluating these quarterbacks and watching them as if, like in the past, you knew this second string. None of those dudes was going to play unless Ben got hurt. But now, like, we're legitimately looking at all of these guys. Let's see. I think GP has already moved past Claypool to the slot. Has already moved Claypool to the slot, possibly. That's what I'm saying. We didn't get to see it. So, hopefully we'll be able to see that maybe in whatever they consider the tune-up game. And nowadays, I don't know if that's the game 2 or game 3. I would imagine it's game 2 now. So maybe next week you see more of that. And the last week they let more, because there's no longer 4 games. Claude Bishop, I think I would agree with you with that. He says Mason had the best throw of the game. He did. That touchdown throw was on the money. It was on the money. And like I said, whether y'all hate or love Mason Rudolph, you got to give it to him. That was one heck of a throw. All right, guys, I'm already past my time. Few more minutes, literally, and then we'll be out of here. Ralphax says, realistically, what I'm hoping is we get to see Pickett in a playoff game to get experience. Okay. Some of you guys are comparing Claypool to Anquan Bolden. I don't know if Claypool has done enough for me to compare him to Bolden at this moment. Am I off by saying that? Would you guys agree with that? I don't know if he's done enough for me to say that. Cody says, did anyone see when George Pickens pushed the corner back to the ground like he did in college? Dude is a menace. Yes, I saw that. I sure did. I'm telling you, that dude, man, he could be special. He could be special. Robert again says, vanilla D is what preseason games are about. With no opponent D game scheming against us, really won't be until the season starts when we know what we got with new players. Peace. You're right. Like I said, we might see a little bit of it in the tune-up game, but until all of those guys that we know are going to start is out there again, Larry O, Cam Hayward, Alu, then with Miles Jack and whoever's going to be beside him, whether it's Bush or Spillane. I don't know how. Bush didn't really jump off the screen today either, but again, I got to really analyze the film. Minka, until you got all those guys out there, I am surely not judging anything I saw as far as the run D. Shout out and round of applause to C. Antoine Hill for the donation. He says, no, Sam, a poor man's Bolden. I don't know if I can say that yet. I don't even know if I can give him that kind of comparison. I don't know. Hopefully Claypool does his thing this year. Yeah, Kenyon, I think you got it right. He says Juju was more of a Bolden than Claypool. Yeah. I just don't think Claypool has done enough, unfortunately, yet for me to really know what we got. Real G Lee says, I think Claypool's talent is off the charts. He's immature, jokey, and does not take things seriously enough. Yeah, and I really do think that I think Claypool can be a beast. And maybe putting him in the slot a lot is going to show us that. Maybe he's going to feast like Juju did when he had a dog on the outside. So, TBD, man. Miles Jack did make a great play. You're absolutely right, Christian. I saw that. Back-to-back plays, as a matter of fact. But all right, man, I think that's going to do it. What up, Dez? My man Dez in the building. He says Pickens is scary. You know what, Dez, before I go, let me ask this question and to show you guys how me and a Ravens fan can have real talk because we respect each other and that's my guy. Dez, being a Ravens fan, what do you think Pickens could be an issue for you guys secondary? Would he be tough for y'all? Because, y'all defense always got some dogs out there. Y'all always throw something at, but what would be your concern for your secondary versus George Pickens? Sippy Boy says Robinson was moving like his hair was on fire, and at the end he finally lined up for him, and he got the sack. Yeah, I think Robinson had the potential to be our Vince Williams, if you will. Blitz him on the edge, blitz him up the middle, and it's cool, blitzing the middle linebacker or inside linebacker off the edge. I like seeing that. But do that. Bring him in for rundowns, from time to time, maybe to spell one of the guys. I think that's going to be his strong suit. He didn't really serve himself that well tonight in coverage. But, he's raw. This guy's a converted linebacker. He only played linebacker for one season. So, but, when a guy has dog in him, and when you can teach a dog something, they're dangerous. So let's see. But let's wait a few minutes, guys, to see if Dez replies, and then I am out of here. I'm already a little past my time here, but he said, "Man, Pickens versus Humphrey is must see." Yeah. It's gonna be interesting, man, because that boy is definitely must see TV. That boy he's as advertised as it seems. And again, I'm not going to jump to conclusions with him either. I want to see him against first team guys and all of that. But yeah, Pickens looked like he could be something. All right, we'll wrap up with the donation. Round of applause to Luis D. Luis says, I know most of the starters on the defense didn't play, but did you notice any difference with this defense compared to last year with Butler? Or is it too early? Way too early, because we can't assess it. The only thing that I can say, I saw a little bit of disguise out there from time to time. But yeah, Luis, it's hard to. We're not gonna know any of that until the season starts. They're not gonna show us nothing. They're gonna keep it very basic. They're not. They might throw a little wrinkle here and there just to practice, to rehearse certain things, but we're not going to really see the scheming and the different things that they throw at you. They're not going to put that on display in preseason. So it's too early to say that, but we'll keep an eye on it. But all right, man, I'm going to get out of here, man. Listen, I appreciate everybody who came through tonight. Pretty good turnout, man. I would have, if this was the regular season, that may go a little longer, but this is just for us to chop it up a little bit. And I'll be back on Tuesday after I've rewatched the game several times. I might even rewatch it again tonight, the condensed version. So by Tuesday, I'll be able to really hone in on things that I really liked and things that might be a concern, yada, 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 and still all too early. You know what I mean? But outside of that, man, again, if you haven't already, if you like what you saw here tonight, make sure you hit that like button. That's the first thing. Second, if you like the content or if it seems like something you might enjoy, subscribe to the channel. And third, if you're subscribed, turn on your notifications. How else will you know that I'm streaming or if I've posted a video? Cut on your notifications. But outside of that, excuse me, hope you guys have a great remainder of the weekend. It's always funny saying that when it's already Saturday night, right? Hope you guys have a great Sunday. Hope your week gets off good on Monday. And I shall see you guys on Tuesday, unless some wild news breaks and I have to report the news. You'll see me on Tuesday for Terrible Towel Tuesday. The phone lines will be open. The phone number is right there on the bottom. It's my right, so it should be left side of the screen, I guess. And yeah, make sure you call in and give me your thoughts on Tuesday. All right, I hope you guys have a great night. God bless. Stay safe. And thank you for tuning in to the Terrible Towel post-game show. Peace.